In Game of Thrones Season 7, we learn that Jon Snow's real name is Aegon Targaryen. He's the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, which means Daenerys is Jon's aunt. Yes, Jon has sex with his aunt. Rhaegar's dead now, so's Viserys Targaryen, and Aerys and Aemon Targaryen. In the books there's still Bloodraven, a Targaryen bastard, and young Griff, who claims to be Targaryen, but Bryndon's a tree, and Griff might be fake. Go watch those videos. So really, Daenerys and Jon are the last Targaryens, last of the dynasty that ruled Westeros for centuries, and last of the Dragon Lords of Valyria. Valyria was an empire that ruled half the world for thousands of years, until 400 years ago it exploded. This was the Doom of Valyria, and it's a mystery connecting to magic, Faceless Men, Lannister gold, and the legacy of Daenerys and Jon's family. So, Valyria was a peninsula to the east of Westeros. Thousands of years ago, the Valyrians were shepherds among volcanic mountains called the 14 Flames, until they discovered dragons and trained them as weapons of war. At the time, the area was dominated by geese, by old geese, an empire built on slavery. So the Valyrians and their dragons conquered the Giscari and took them as their own slaves. The Valyrians expanded, building an empire across most of the known world. They called themselves the Freehold, because all landowners had a say in government, but wherever they conquered, the Freehold took slaves, sending thousands down the 14 Flames to mine for gold and silver. Valyria had advanced technology and magic. They used dragonflame to shape stone into beautiful towers. They made Valyrian steel swords, long roads, and colonies. Valyria's like ancient Rome, just with dragons. And with incest. The Dragon Lords traditionally married their own siblings. They believed they were descended from dragons, and wanted to keep their blood pure. The Dragon Lords lived in the capital city of Valyria, using magic and politics in an endless struggle for power and glory. Valyria was the center of civilization, until the Doom came. Every hill in Valyria erupted with fire, smoke, and lava, so hot that dragons were burned from the sky. The earth cracked open and swallowed whole towns. Lakes boiled and the sea flooded in. The clouds rained obsidian and black blood. Within hours, the whole peninsula was shattered, the empire gone. All Valyria's knowledge and technology, like how to make Valyrian steel, was lost. The only Dragon Lords to survive this doom were the Targaryens, who had left Valyria years earlier, because Daenys Targaryen foresaw the doom in a dream. So these Targaryens, the ancestors of Daenerys and Jon, settled on Dragonstone, and would later conquer Westeros. Now, 400 years after the doom, Valyria is a smoking ruin, accursed and demon-haunted. In the show, Tyrion and Jorah visit the ruins and survive, but in the books, no one returns from Valyria. Whole fleets and armies have disappeared there, including Tyrion's uncle, Gerion Lannister. Euron Greyjoy claims to have been there, but he might be lying. Whether the danger is demons or toxic volcanic fumes, the place is dangerous. The Doom still rules Valyria. But what was the Doom, and what caused it? The Doom might have been a natural volcanic eruption. Author George Martin compared the Doom to the eruption of Krakatoa and the fall of Pompeii, but Valyria, he says, involved magic. Valyria is a place of fire magic. It's got dragons and volcanoes. It's called the Lands of the Long Summer. Compare that with far north Westeros, called the Lands of Always Winter, which has White Walkers and ice magic. These two places seem like centers of ice and fire in this world. Maybe they're connected to the irregular seasons. The North had an icy disaster in the Long Night, and Valyria had a fiery disaster in the Doom, and this affected the world's magic. When the Doom fell on Valyria, magic died in the West. It's only recently returning. So the point is that Valyria had some serious cosmic elemental magic happening, and the Valyrians fucked with it. The Valyrians were sorcerers, and for thousands of years they used spells to tame the 14 Flames. But at the same time, they mined the flames for gold and silver. These were volcanoes full of magma and fireworms, and slaves were killed by the hundreds. And yet they kept mining deeper and deeper, like some Khazad-dûm shit. In Lord of the Rings, the dwarves of Moria delved too greedily and too deep, and they awoke the fiery Balrog. Maybe Valyria is similar. They got too greedy, delved too deep, and set off the 14 flames. 'Cause that's what happens when you mess with magic in this world. We're told over and over that magic is dangerous. The Valyrians, in their arrogance, thought they could control magic, but it blew up in their face. So now their ruins stand like Ozymandias or Atlantis, a warning against hubris and the mining of magic volcanoes. But there's still more to the story. In Book 4, Arya joins the Faceless Men, a cult of assassins who worship death. She's trained by the kindly man, who tells her that the Faceless Men began in Valyria, among the slaves who mined in the 14 flames. He says the slaves suffered so badly in the mines that they wished for death. The first Faceless Man gave the gift of death to a slave. Arya argues that the man should have killed the Valyrian slave masters instead, and he replies that the Faceless would bring the gift to them as well, but that is a tale for another day. So this is a hint that the Faceless Men caused the doom of Valyria, which makes sense. The men arose from Valyrian slaves, and they're now based in Braavos, which was founded by ex-slaves escaping Valyria. And the Faceless Men worship death, so killing thousands in a doom is probably their idea of a good time. But how could the Faceless cause the doom? One theory is that they used dragon eggs. At Summerhall, it seems that dragon eggs caused a deadly fire. Maybe the Faceless used lots of eggs to set off the 14 flames. But there's another possibility that ties in to a prophecy. The World Book says that Valyrian sorcerers foretold that the gold of Casterly Rock would destroy them. Casterly Rock is home to the Lannisters, who were famous for their gold mines even in Valyrian times. But for some reason, the Valyrians never contacted the rich Lannisters, even though they were so hungry for gold that they were mining volcanoes. Maybe the Valyrians avoided the Lannisters because of this prophecy. But the Lannisters back then really wanted a Valyrian steel sword. All the cool Westerosi families had one, like Stark's Ice and Tarly's Heartsbane. So in the century before the Doom, the Lannisters bought the Valyrian sword Brightroar for a huge amount of gold. We don't know who sold Brightroar to the Lannisters, but if this gold went to Valyria, it could have fulfilled the prophecy of Valyria's destruction. How could gold cause the Doom? The great families of Valyria were in constant conflict. Sometimes they assassinated each other, which was a problem because some of these Valyrians were sorcerers whose spells held back the 14 flames. The World Book suggests that too many of these sorcerers were assassinated, so the spells failed, and that's why the Doom happened. Maybe these assassinations were carried out by the assassins of the Faceless Men. The Faceless Men don't kill for free, they charge a high price. So maybe they were paid with that Lannister gold that a Valyrian got by selling Brightroar. So the Valyrians were so caught up in their petty political conflicts that they paid for their own destruction, giving prophecy gold to the death cult that arose from their own slavery and oppression. As Tyrion says, Valyria was built on blood and fire, and they reaped what they'd sown. So that theory brings together all the hints from the text. Lannister gold paid for faceless assassinations that destabilized magic and caused the Doom. But you can add some tinfoil on top, because it may be that the Valyrians ordered these assassinations not knowing that they'd cause the Doom. But maybe it was deliberate. Maybe one of these warring families wanted to wipe out the competition and be the last Dragon Lords standing. We know the Targaryens were a fairly minor house in Valyria. When they left for Dragonstone, their rivals thought them cowards. But maybe the Targaryens ordered these assassinations to cause the Doom, to destroy their enemies. They made up some excuse about a dream and went to Dragonstone and watched their own homeland burn, leaving them the only Dragon Lords in the world, free to become the unopposed rulers of whatever realm they chose. Maybe House Targaryen, Daenerys and Jon's family, is founded on a terrible genocidal betrayal. But that's just speculation. Whatever caused the Doom, Valyria has lessons for its descendants, Daenerys and Jon, because the Valyrians were kinda assholes. They seem to think that just because they were magic and pretty, they could enslave the world. They conquered peaceful peoples and worked thousands of slaves to death. With their theories of racial superiority, they are basically Nazis with dragons, so when they destroyed themselves with their own fire and blood, it's kind of hard to feel sorry for them. Valyrian blood gives Dany and Jon the power of dragons, magic, and prophecy, but the ruins of Valyria should remind them to use their power with humility and compassion. The Doom of Valyria destroyed a whole civilization's knowledge. Skills like the forging of Valyrian steel were lost forever. But luckily, our world's knowledge and skills are available on Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning site with thousands of classes in design, business, writing, and forging steel. So if you want your own family sword, check out this course. We've used Skillshare to learn some After Effects techniques, and they've got some really high-quality courses. If you want to learn how to start a business, edit video, produce music, or found a continent-spanning empire of blood and fire, sign up for Skillshare today. Get a 2-month free trial at the link below. Thank you to History of Westeros for some scripting help, and thanks to the patrons, including Zach Whiteman, Thony Ekstrom, Gannon MacDonald, Leslie Mercado, Tristan Sather, Natasha Lee, and Zezi Besh. Cheers.